Hello, hello, everyone. Boy, we got on good tonight. No problem. We got Orphan Nanny and Janet and Bill Woods, Papa G. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge and do the music. Come back and talk to the kids. Go into the show. Got some things to talk about. We'll see what happens. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm ready to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless you.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody's day doing? David's here. Papa G, Bill Woods, student for the tree. Karen's here. So, guys, I kept going to Telegram today. I kept going there because I knew people was going to have things for the show tonight.
I was such a loser.
I knew people were going to have stuff for the show tonight. I stayed up till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning last night, and no one's posting. And then you go out there and you try to find things, and no one's posting. But I have been able to put something together tonight. But I do want to talk to the kids and start with Jimmy, who I usually always start with. Hey, Cindy. David Duffy says hi, Ron.
Oh, David Duffy.
And I just want to start with the kids and with Jimmy. And Jimmy comes on our Telegram site on occasion now, not like he used to. Their family's going through a lot, so keep them in prayers. Patriot 11. I was driving home yesterday from the store, and I decided to drive through the country instead on the main highway. And I found a ranch for sale. And I said to myself, well, now all we have to do is get the money. Get on the beds. Get the truth to come out. And do what we need to do, how we need to do it, when we need to do it. Patriot Wyatt Earp and Patriot Karate Kid. Haven't heard much from Mom lately. She posts pictures of you on occasions, not too much. Just hang in there, boys. Everything's going to be great. Then, Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. I showed you the pictures Wednesday night of them going back to school. One in 7th grade, one in 9th. And you can really look at them too and see where they are, brother and sister. Patriot Bugs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. I hope you had plenty of ice cream for the birthday the other night. And Grandpa John did you good. Patriot Little Leona and Little Elan. I got a message on one of the chatting sites the other day. Let me see if I remember which one it was. WhatsApp. And the message said, okay, Ralph, I just got out of the hospital 4 days ago, getting better. And I asked if this was Mike Davis, and he didn't reply. So, Mike, if that is you, don't worry about getting us pictures of little Leona. Get healthy, but take care of her. I know Grandma and Grandpa will, and I know so will Mom and Dad. But you get yourself better. So prayers to Mike Davis. Patriot little Anya and Xenia. At a time when I've been telling these kids, or I've been telling Aunt Julia, their mom, me and Ron have been telling this whole family that we truthfully believe the war is over, and they was agreeing, but now all of a sudden this past week, they've had to spend time in bomb shelters. They've had to look over their shoulders. They've been hearing sirens for almost a week now. So keep these kids in this country and the other country in your prayers, because what's going on is just ridiculous, and it's time we nip it in the bud. Huh?
7 o'clock.
Yep. Well, it's about ready to rain. Ron just made a statement, 7 o'clock, and it's getting dark, but it's getting ready to rain. It's very nasty looking out. I was just out there a few minutes ago. Patriot super gymnast. I don't know if Mom showed her yet. Patriot little gymnast and Patriot 7. Yesterday I was able to take the pictures of their last football games. Good boy, they got a lot of them taken. I was able to put them together and put each one of them a video together. And when I sent them to my daughter, she was just elated. I haven't talked to her today. But sometimes just reaching out, guys, kids, grown-ups, sometimes just reaching out, a little gesture. I have a very special friend that sends me a good morning or something every day. I'm not going to mention names because I haven't cleared it with her if it's okay. And some people like to stay anonymous. But I took one of the ones she sent me the other day and I sent it back to her. I sent it to a bunch of the women today. And I sent one of them to my daughter. I sent one of them to a high school friend of mine who I didn't even realize was today is the day that her son passed away in a tragic surgery gone bad. And there's nothing in the world worse, I don't think, than losing a child. I hope I never find out. But I sent it out to about 20 or 25 women in our group from Messenger. And I couldn't believe my daughter come back and said, "Oh my God, Dad, thank you. I'm having trouble with 2 little kids today, and I needed something that I felt special to someone." Hey, Dean. My friend came back to me and said, "Ralph, you remembered." I didn't know what she was talking about. Then she said, "You remember today's the day my son died 4 years ago." And I thought, wow, talk about God coming down and giving you faith. And several other people that got back to me and thanked me. And that's all it takes sometimes, kids. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You can be the worst kid in the world, but you just do the right thing, the right time to your mom and dad. And it means the world. Tonight I was getting ready to come down here, and my daughter gave me for Christmas a bag about this bag, a really beautiful red bag. Could pull the string shut on it and that. And inside it, there was 4 bags of salted shelled nuts, peanuts. And I've been eating on them since Christmas, here and there. And I forget about them because they're in my bedroom. And I went to eat some out of the bag the other day, and it was stale. But we got lots of squirrels in our yards, kids. So I went outside and I put them on the railing of my deck, and my 2 grandkids, they can have them all they want to eat anytime they want them. But no, they were better because I put them out for the squirrels. And I said, enough, go in and get some off of my dresser. Leave the squirrels' peanuts alone. And they couldn't understand it. And then finally, when I got them away, the squirrels started coming up and they're going, "Oh, that's so amazing." They never had seen the squirrels just come up and get on their little hind legs and eat the peanuts. Then when they're done eating, and then they take the other ones and they're burying them. And kids, have you ever thought how smart a squirrel is that they can go and bury a nut in the ground and a month later go back and know right where that nut is? If we was as smart as squirrels, you kids wouldn't have to go to school. They don't even have teachers. I know because they skip school every day. I sit out on my porch and I feed them nuts and I watch them eat. But we have a great group of kids here. Sometimes I don't talk the way I should with them and that, but I try to cover every one of them. It's hard to come up with things to say every 3 days a week for them because it was there for a while. I was in touch with a lot of them. We've lost a lot of great kids. Not that they went, in a bad way, but things happen with parents and they left, and it is what it is. But that concludes tonight's version of the kids show. Remember, kids, this show is not made for you to watch unless you have the permission of your parents, grandparents, and legal guardians. The music I played tonight, we have no legal rights to. I played it because it's kind of a theme song for us. If I use any other videos tonight, I use them for entertainment purposes only. And if I talk about money, I am not a financial advisor, but I do know a little bit about things and I do share things. And I'm going to start the show right off tonight, guys, with a little money talk. A while back, a week ago, as much as Monday night, Wednesday night. XRP, I've been telling you it's going to explode. I heard that DJT wanted it to go down low where people could buy even if you only bought 10. And it was down to 98 cents at one point. As much as yesterday morning, it was at 99 cents. As I do the show right now, it has dropped a little bit in the last hour, not much, but it is setting at $1.43. Now, I have a really good friend that I talked to her about. She's got money. But she was saying, Ralph, I know you're not a financial advisor. Do you have any ideas on how I can make and diversify my money? And I said, yes, buy XRP. And she says, tell me about it. And I did. And I said, you might even want to buy some XLM, which has went from 12 cents the other day to 20 cents. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you got a lot, it does. But what I'm trying to say is I'm talking to this lady, and she said, well, I'd like to invest $5,000. And I said, okay. I told her how to do it, I asked her if she'd done it, and she said no. She talked to her financial advisors, and they know a lot about crypto, so they're going to handle it. I left her a message this morning and said, did you get it taken care of yet? No. So now I just left her a message, and I said, remember when I first approached you and told you it was 98 cents? And she said, yes. I said, if you'd have taken your whole $5,000, you could have bought 5,000. And she said, okay. I said, just in them 3 days, had you bought 5,000 of them at 98 cents, at the time I was telling her this, it had reached a high today of 148, which is a 49 cent. She would have already made half of her money. Her money, instead of 5,000, would now be right at 7,500. But that's not the important things, guys. For those of you that bought some, congratulations. For those of you that didn't, don't worry about it, because there's going to be so much money we're going to have that it don't matter. I'm just trying to get you in a place, and I am not a financial advisor. But the fact remains that, not being a financial advisor, I can still give you some tips and some things that I believe. Now, I have seen in the last week probably at least a dozen videos with 4547. He just had a big meeting the other day with a group of people for XRP, making it the number one crypto. Ron looked at me this morning when I walked in the door, came down, just after lunchtime today. I came down for lunch. It was just afternoon. I walked in the door and he looked at me and said, man, I just read something. I wish I had kept it. I said, what? He says, they say that we could get up one of these days overnight and it's going to go to $55,000. There's rumors that the banks cannot buy from crypto companies. And get this, they do not want the banks to get it at such a low cost. There's rumors that the banks are going to start offering as much as $30,000 for every crypto XRP that you have, because they know it's going to go where Bitcoin went, and that was well over $100,000. The reason I talk to you guys about this is because they say lightning don't strike in a bottle twice, but it does. See, because I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at one point for a half a penny a piece. If I would have just bought $1 worth, I would be a wealthy man now. But that wasn't meant for me to be, because I wouldn't be doing this. If I had money, I'd be one of those snobs like people who have money. And I wouldn't be here, Kevin and Janet and Jeffrey and One Voice, Bill and David and Soretta. I wouldn't be here, Beth Shaw. What if I'd have bought $10 or $100? Because at the same time, Papa G, instead of buying Bitcoin, me and Ron bought Iraqi dinar, which I wanted to bring it that way, just like that, because now 4547 says he wants the troops coming home by the 30th of September. He wants all troops coming home by the 30th of September. But that country owes us so much money. They owe us so much money that how they're going to pay us back is with revaluating the Iraqi and dinar. But it has to be revaluated at least 30 days before the troops come home. So if 4547 wants these troops home by September 30th, we have to go and revaluate. They have to do the currency before the end of the month. And I've read at least 5 different places today. I've watched at least 2 or 3 different videos today that they're saying they're pushing as hard as they can. It is now in the hands of the military, and the military have been told by 4547 to get it done before the end of the month. I haven't really listened to Bruce. I don't know. We don't have the reading part, or do we?
What?
Do we have the reading part of Bruce?
No.
We don't have the reading part, but I know Bruce made the statement in the little bit that I heard of him last night. I know he made the statement that they are pushing wildly. It was surprising because the first time he didn't say we could get notifications tomorrow, which would have been today. We could be going as early as Saturday or Sunday. And then he gives his explanation. But I'm looking at Texas Snake, and I'm looking at Wolverine, and I'm looking at other people, Charlie Ward and that, and they're all saying they're pushing very, very hard to get this done and get us to the redemption centers before the end of the month. Because 4547, Papa G, Kevin, they want the troops home by the 30th. Speaking of troops, it's time this war in these 2 countries end. It's time that 4547 puts an end to it. My letters from Julia this week was not the greatest letters. Not that we still don't care. It's just that I've been telling Julia now for about 2 months. I truthfully 100% believe, David and Kevin and Janet, I believe that the war is over there, that the noises they hear, the sirens that they hear are just for show because they're trying to make the people, just like here with the weather. I'm 100% sure. I mean, I've never been more sure in my life that we're not controlling the weather here. They want us in the house. They don't want us running around. They don't want us doing this and doing that. And I feel that's the same thing that they're doing in Ukraine and in Russia. I feel that's the same thing. And Julia even admitted it herself that, Ralph, she says, I think you're 100% right. But then all of a sudden, my letter I got 2 days ago, I could just tell something was wrong. It wasn't her. And I could tell something was wrong. So when I wrote her back, she says, I'm tired. I'm tired of all the sirens. I'm tired of looking over my shoulders. I'm tired of having to go down in them underground tunnels or whatever they call them to be safe. And I said, in my next letter, you didn't tell me you was doing that. Why aren't you talking to me? Because she didn't want to worry me. But then it got to a point that she just exploded with fear and anger in not just her president, but our president and the president in Russia, because they said that when 4547 took office, he'd have that war over within 30 days. I was talking to Marianne last night. Last I checked, he's been in a lot longer than 30 days. It took him, 15 minutes to go and put an end to the stuff in Venezuela? Now he's just playing games with Iran. You know what? They don't want to do something. You say we got the greatest military force in the history of the world. Prove it. If they don't want to play ball, take them out. If they don't want to give in, get rid of them. But why should the other people, the good people in Iran, have to worry? Why is Iraq? All the things we've done, why are we worried? Another thing that comes, that me and Ron were talking today. They have a very good friend, Julia, and her friend Masha. They have a very good friend. Her name is Dasha. I guess they like to rhyme names over there. How Julia got her name, I don't know. But Dasha moved out of the Ukraine for a while because her husband, they have children. Her husband was drafted into the military. Now here's a war that's supposed to be over, but she told me that he's in a safe place and everything is good. But see, what makes me and Ron worry is because Masha has a 15-year-old, will be 16-year-old his next birthday. What age do they draft? And to show you the displeasure of these countries and what they're doing to these men and women, over 800,000 men and women, soldiers, have lost their lives. That's 800,000 empty chairs at the supper table. That's 800,000 empty beds at nighttime. All of that, they've lost their lives. I just read an article today that they're training their people in France, the Ukrainians. They're sending their military to get trained to go into the military and serve their country in France. And 80 of them deserted yesterday. Why wouldn't you? Your country don't give a damn about you. All they care about is giving this worthless war to keep going and going. Over what? Yes, we understand that Putin went in and cleaned up the children, and it's done. They've been rescued. But now they're still fighting over a little plot of land that Russia wants back. Are you freaking kidding me? Thousands of people are dying, and it's not even just the soldiers. It's how many civilians have lost their lives. War is terrible. And I keep hearing and I keep reading that they talk about wars and how they were financed from the cabal because they were making money, hands over fist, making money. They could care less if I went to a war and got killed. All they care is putting money in their pockets. And DJT is supposed to be wiping this out. But if it's a movie, if it's already been played, why is it taking so long to get done? It's time. And I'm not cutting the man down. I'm not cutting anybody down. I'm just sick and tired of hearing every day people dying. Now, this little actress who passed away the other day, 36 years old. Myself, personally, from what I've been reading, I don't think she's gone. I think she's in with a lot of the other people that we know where they're at. But why should she have to go into? Why did we have to go into? They knew what Hollywood has been doing. They know what Hollywood has done. Go in and wipe them SOBs off the map. Forrest Gump admitted it. Something that when they got rid of Forrest Gump, something that it normally takes one injection. It takes one. It took 3.5 for him because he was so full of you know what from the kids. And he's taking his final breath, says, you can't bring us down. There's too many. Too many. How many billions of people in this world that would be willing, as the song said, and fight till the very end? Be proud not to be an American. Be proud to be a Canadian, because I know Robert's either on or he'll watch. Be proud to be whatever your country is from. When I tell Julia about I play proud to be an American, and when I send her messages, she can't open links, so she doesn't know the song. But I told her, I said, you can go and Google and do something. And she told me the other day, oh, I see why you love that song. But she said, when I sing it and it gets proud to be an American, I say proud to be a Ukrainian. All we have to do, guys, is communicate together to keep our vibrations up. Hey, Kevin, who is Buc-ee's? A complete circus with sideshow. Okay. You guys are having good conversation. I'll move on. And see, I kind of took everything that I had right there, guys, and brought it all together as one part. I didn't plan it. It just happened like that. This is not speculation what I'm going to read right now. The Hat never conceded 2020 election. He never passed the nuclear football to Sleepy and his fraudulent administration. The 2021 ceremony followed rituals of a funeral, not an inauguration. Those who have been paying know that Sleepy was never commander-in-chief. He may have been president of the defunct corporation, but he had no legal authority over the military or the republic. Now, in saying that, I heard several times while that was going on. And this goes to show you how rude and ruthless mainstream media news is. Because I heard about mainstream media, they would not announce anything if it had to do with what happened in 2020. When they built Sleepy up, I mean, when a man stands up there and he's in a debate with maybe the greatest debater in the world, and the other gentleman, 45, 47, happens to ask him a question, and he's there and he's spitting all over the screen. So much so, I think he waterlogged it. And when he waterlogged it, it went off. And then he was dumbfounded. What do I do? You remember seeing him at the inauguration of 45, 47. He was sitting right behind Carrie Underwood with that other, whatever you want to call her. I like to call her a little bit of a hyena because she reminds me of that. And that's an insult to a hyena. But they were sitting back there like they were important. Yeah. I seen an interview with Carrie, who, by the way, good luck tonight. I know you're have a performance in Nashville, so good luck to her. Like she needs it. Kevin says, David, you got to stop saying 65 prices. You're completely wrong. Word it correctly, please. 55 purchasing power, not 55 prices. Well, I don't know where you're getting your news, but I've been doing this for a lot longer than I bet you have. And everything I've always heard is we're going back to 50 prices, not purchasing power, prices. Because me and Ron have sat and we've asked questions on shows of Charlie Ward. We've asked questions on other shows of people who know a lot more than I do. And it's 55 or the 50s prices is what we're saying. Now, nobody is actually going to know. Nobody's going to know. But what is the difference? Yeah.
I was.
Ron was in the 50s. He remembers the prices. I was born in the 50s. I was born in 54. I don't remember the prices. But if it's, and I'm going to make one example here, and I'm not picking on anybody. I'm going along with a conversation. I seen something. I wanted to add what I know. But I was talking to someone and I said, yes, when I bought my first brand new car, I bought a brand new 1974 Dodge Dart. Green, two-door, sunroof, and I thought I was the king. I paid out the door $3,422 out the door. No trade-in. And someone said to me, that's what you're going to be paying again. What we have to manage, it doesn't matter what prices we go to. It doesn't matter where we're at. What matters is the fact that we're going there. It doesn't matter anything about money, truthfully, because after a few years, money is going to be irrelevant. You're going to go, you want something, you go to a store and you're just going to pick up your groceries. You're going to walk out. They're going to bag them for you. They're going to say, thank you, sir. Please come again. I would think, as me and Ron was discussing, you'll probably have some kind of a card that you can go in and the actual prices will go on the card. And when you reach that limit, then you might have to pay money for the stuff. But money is not going to matter. Jobs, you're going to work jobs because we have to work jobs. We have to keep the economy going. But I believe we're going to go to a point where it's not going to be money's going to matter at all. But as I said, it's everybody's opinion because no one knows for sure. It could be 50s prices. It could be 50s purchasing power. We don't know. Here's something that I don't understand, but I wanted to read it because they're talking about the military special beds and what you're going to need when you go to the special beds. But truthfully, when I read it, keep in mind, myself personally, I think this is what you're going to need when you go to the Redemption Center. I think there was a misprint on military special beds official site. Because here's what it says, what you need to go for the special beds. 2 forms of ID, driver's license, passport, government ID, state ID, etc. Your currency, you'll need to take your Zim, your Dong, your Boulevard, etc. Now, what you're already going to have taken your currency and put it and traded it in. So that's why I'm saying I believe they made a misprint. 2 utility bills, cable, water, electric, internet. Secure money bag. If you request new USN notes during the appointment home, if they have them, not mandatory, they want you to have some kind of a secure money bag. Now, here's my point about the money bag. I'm a man, I carry a wallet. So if I want to take, and I have deep pockets. So if I want to take what Bruce is saying, we can take anywhere from 3. He said 3, he said 4, he said 5. Let's just say we go low and we can get $3,000 to take with us. I walk in with a money bag and I walk out. That's not bringing suspicion to people's minds. Hey, if I can get $3,000, just give me $3,100 bills. I'll roll them up and stick them in my pocket. No one will know. Or I'll put some of them in my wallet and some of them in my pocket. No one will know. Also, you need a black/blue pen to sign your signature on documents and take notes. Tally sheet to keep track of your currency, count them, by numbers. And this is what I've emphasized to people for a long time. I don't care if you only have 2 or 3 different kind of currencies. Have them on a sheet. Give one to the person that you're talking to. Keep one. If there's 2 people there, give each one of them one. And then take one and said, here's my currency, but I want you to sign your name here that this is what I give you. Have your currency all counted. Me, I've got brown envelopes for every currency, every country. I have in a different envelope. I have my sheet. If I think about it on Monday, I'll show you one of my sheets where you can see. I just put all my currency down there. They know what I have. Now, if they come back and say, well, Mr. Anderson, you didn't have but this. Now, I have millions of Bolivar. And if they come back and say, Mr. Anderson, and I'm just going to throw a number, and this is not what I have, I'm just going to throw a number out there. If you have 350 $1 million Bolivar notes, and you get $2 for each one, that's $2 million for each thing. Does it really matter if they steal one from you or two of them? That's $700 million. But if I give them a sheet and I say I have 350, then when they ring it up in their little machines, it's going to come up right on the screen how many there was. So if I say 350 and they say I've only got 344, they should show me on the machine where it says that. And then I check it off as a mistake. Okay, I'm fine. And I'm sure they're going to do things like that. You have to remember, the things that we're reading here, the things that we're sharing, is things that people are just putting out there, what they think. I'm not Sue. I don't sell courses. I'm just giving you my opinion. Project outline for humanitarian projects to present during the appointment. Additional funding tentative, not mandatory. Another thing, have your project. If you're going to work with Patriot 5, Patriot 6 humanitarian projects, just tell them, I'm going to be working with them. Give them my name, my phone number, my email address. Tell them to contact me, and I'll confirm that you're going to work with me. But you have to let me know before you go in. Project outline, okay. The outline of the projects, what you'll tell them, I'm going to work with Patriot 5, Patriot 6. Their main project is the children. Their second one is the animals and the elderly. Third one, they want to donate to moving on of the special beds to keep it moving farther and farther, maybe even build some special bed centers in local areas so they don't have to go so far to go to them. Because I'm a firm believer that once you're on them, you still should be going back every 6 months. What good are they going to be if everybody gets on them and done with them in 6 months? Then they're just going to sit there. How you're going to pay doctors and nurses to just sit there? But if doctors and nurses act like they do now, and you go in for a 6-month checkup or maybe a 3-month checkup, you get on the first bed, everything's okay. Boop, you get up, you go home. But you get a little boost because you get that little boost from being on it. That's my opinion. Questions to ask list. Have your questions listed to ask the staff with your appointment. This is not mandatory, but if you have some questions about setting up a certain way for an account, setting up for something like that, if you have the questions, have them written down. Don't just try to make something up in your head. They want you to take a Sharpie and a notepad to take notes. Well, I think it would be better to take a Sharpie if you feel comfortable, but I think as long as you take your pen, either black or blue, and I take a couple. This is just a list of 10 things compiled to try to help you, and recommendations to help you when you go to the Redemption Center. Now, see what I told you? This is the thing for the special beds, it said, but it was a misprint. Now, another thing, there's going, depending on your currency, when you go to the Redemption Center, wherever you go, there's going to be some freebies. And this is something that Bruce is very, very adamant about. Oh, you want to ask. And especially if you have a lot, because you might walk out of there with a new car, according to people I've heard. My thing is, if they have freebies, I'll say, well, I've heard that we have a chance to get something with us for now. You know, you're also going to be able to get your quantum phone and a certificate for a computer. All these little things, and this doesn't matter. This is going to be for everybody. Once everybody, even if you don't have currency, you're still going to go to either a bank or redemption center. You're still going to get your phone. You're still going to get your computer. That happens everywhere. So I like that reading. But I wanted to just make sure that everybody was on the same page. There are 3 types of special beds: holographic, regenerative, and re-automation. The first one you get on and it scans, it takes just a few minutes. It scans, it fixes your DNA. When you come off of that bed, it can tell you everything that's wrong with you. It fixes your DNA when you get off. They say you feel between 10 and 15, maybe 20 years younger. The second one you get on will take a little longer. Sometimes it takes an hour, 2 hours, depending on what happens. It will cure cancer, diabetes, will help you regrow a long arm, a finger, a leg, ear, fix your teeth, regrow your hair, even do things for men and women's body parts. But you have to wear black underwear, men, and you have to wear black women underwear and bra. So that's what the second one does. And I'm going through this quickly. The third one is, yes, it is true that you can take an 80-year-old or 85-year-old, and when they're done with this one, you can feel and act and look like you're 30 years old. Imagine that. I know John's in his 60s. I'm in my 70s. Ron's in his 80, just turned 80. But here's a situation. We can all go and get on these beds. We can all go get on these beds when we walk out. We can feel, and look like we did when we were 30. It will regrow your hair the way it was supposed to be because it's stuff that they do. Everybody says baldness is hereditary. No, it's not. Not according to articles I've been reading. It can help you in every aspect. Jimmy, his dad, lost part of his foot in an accident. It will help him regrow his foot. Brett Harrod, a friend of mine, lost an arm. It will regrow his arm. There's a gentleman that I know that's in a wheelchair. It will get him out of the wheelchair. It will literally take you back, and it will act as if this is a fountain of youth. In 2002, MJ, and I'm not talking about Michael Jordan, I'm talking about the one who isn't with us no more, but he will be soon. They manipulate our history books. The history books are not true. It's a lie. The history books are lying. You need to know that. You must know that this is coming from the JFK files, that maybe the best singer-dancer in the history of pop music, rock and roll music, whatever, come out and was telling people. For all of those who doubt him about questions about kids, and I had this argument with my other brother the other day when he said, "Oh, that's a terrible person." I said, "What is terrible about him?" And he said, "Look at what he did to the kids." I said, "What, save them? What do you mean save them?" And I said, "What did you think he was doing?" Well, I thought he was a 3-letter word, P-E, and you know what the last letter is, David. You know what I mean? And I said, no, he wasn't. And I took my phone and I opened it up to the YouTube channel, and I was able to find a video of 5 different children sticking up for him, saying how he was saving them, not doing harm to them. But people want to believe what they want to believe. Mainstream media news, they didn't like him because he was a good guy and he wasn't kissing their behinds. That's why he's not with us. That's why he had to take a little break. Here's a little something about the regression of the special bed. And the person says, I was inside the program for 11 years. I worked at a classified facility in Nevada that doesn't exist on any government registry. My clearance, TS, SCI, NOF, ORN. My job, monitor the special bed clinical trials. What I witnessed changed everything I believed about medicine, aging, and the human body. On March 14, 2019 at 9:47 Eastern Standard Time, a 74-year-old retired general entered the QRU-9 chamber. His biological age was confirmed at 74. His cellular damage severe. His prognosis 18 months to live. 72 hours later, his biological markers read 47. Not a misprint, not a malfunction, 47. The special beds doesn't slow aging, it reverses it. Here's the same science. Here's the science they buried. The QRU-9 operates on 3 stimulus frequencies: quantum, plasma, energy, realigns every cell vibrational blueprint to its optimal youthful state. TACHYON particle bombardment neutralizes decades of cellular damage caused by toxins, stress, and deliberate poisoning through food and water systems. 3D holographic scanning maps the body at the subatomic resolution, identifying every area of deterioration in precision that no hospital on earth can match. But the reversal goes deeper. The special beds analyzes your DNA sequence in real time. It identifies genetic damage. It corrects it. It stimulates dormant stem cells and big pharma stem cells that big pharma told you were gone forever. It regenerates organs. It rebuilds tissues. It restores hormonal balance to a level of a 25-year-old. In 72 hours, I received 847 clinical files I reviewed 847 clinical files between 2015 and 2024. Average biological age reversal, 22 years. Oldest patient treated 91. Post-treatment biological age 58. Cancer cases resolved 312 out of 312. 0 failures. Why did they hide it? Because a population that doesn't age doesn't need pharmaceutical drugs. A population that heals itself doesn't need hospitals. A population that lives to 150 doesn't accept the same political control. On August 6, 2026, at 14:23 Eastern Standard Time, the HAT signed Executive Order 2026-1947. The special bed program was declassified. Distribution to civilian centers begins in September 2026. They called it science fiction for 30 years. They lied. The technology was always real. The healing was always possible. The only thing that was artificial was the system that kept it from you. September is not a coincidence. The restoration of America includes the restoration of American body. What they stole from you is being returned. Important. Okay, then it says to join their page. Here's something that was sent to me. Big weekend in Baghdad. Iraq communication minister said on Iraq TV, the decision is issued, the currency changes, and the 3 zeros come off the dinar. Why SANAD say this? Because he is the man who runs the digital payments rails, and this weekend he just told you the machine is ready. Behind it, a bigger story and something we have tracked and linked for the better part of this year. The 1976 world order is being dismantled in public and the HATS administration is the one taking it apart. It's money cut off. It's choke point bypass. It's military disarmed. Just watch of what's going to happen. It's all going to happen very soon. Guys, I thought I had the reading part for Judy, but I don't. I thought I had sent it over there to Lynn and Janet, and I want to thank everybody for being here all week. We had a nice turnout tonight. We almost made 100. We might have. We're at 98 now. But I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer and then just close the night out. If anything happens over the weekend, it could. Just keep your vibrations up. Keep everything moving in the right direction. And as someone said something about all maps, I want to say all maps are leading us to the finish line. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, I have a couple special people. Mike, who said he had just been in the hospital, and I hope you keep looking after him. Take care of him and make sure he's good. For all the children, make sure all of them are taken care of, and all of our family here. Look after my blood family, my sister, who found out today she has to have a hip replacement. Look after her. Keep an angel across her head, and even though she gets cranky sometimes, Lord, she'll still accept it. Look after all of us here. Help us get to the finish line by keeping our vibrations up, each and every one of us, Lord. Help us be there so we're ready when this happens, that we can help so many people who's got their eyes closed. And that's going to be our biggest job. Everybody thinks we've done so much now, Lord, but our biggest job is not even begun, because that's going to be having to open the eyes of the people that are going to say, why didn't you tell me? Because we're going to have to be cool, calm, and collective, Lord, because we've told so many and they just don't listen. It's funny, Lord, I talk to my grandchildren and they understand what's going on more than my children do. Because people who have good jobs now, Lord, they're not like when we were growing up. Our generation, when we was growing up, we was always looking after everybody. Now it's, I got mine. I don't care if you have anyone. And that's the wrong way to be, Lord. And I know you're going to help us get and restore our world, your world, to where you wanted, heaven on earth, as we come to you, talk to you, and pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. God bless, and have a great weekend.